Before you give your heart to a man, stop and ask yourself, do I even know his purpose? Because a man's purpose shapes the way he loves, leads, and lives. And when you fall for a man whose purpose you don't clearly or fully understand, you risk building a bond with someone who may ultimately be walking in a different direction than you. And no amount of chemistry is going to be able to fix that type of misalignment. In this video, I'm going to share why it's so important to know a man's purpose before falling in love with him, and what often happens when you don't. The emotional, spiritual, and energetic consequences that so many of us women have experienced as a result. Because love without purpose feels exciting at first, but over time, it becomes exhausting. Hi, and welcome to my channel. I am Portia, the communicator, your trusted mental health life coach, and I help women get out of their negative relationship sagas and into the lives of love and partnership they desire and deserve. As I stated already, we are here to talk about why it is so important to know a man's purpose before you fall in love with him, and the dangers of not knowing what happens as a consequence. So my opening engagement question for you is, have you ever fallen in love with a man that you didn't understand his purpose beforehand? And what was the result of that experience? What did you learn? What did you walk away with? Let me know in the comments and let's get that discussion going. And so to quickly dive in, let's talk about reason number one, why you need to know a man's purpose before falling in love. His purpose determines his path, and you need to know where he's headed. And more importantly, he needs to know where he's headed. A man's purpose is like his internal compass. And if he doesn't know where it's going, that is an inspiration for confusion and frustration. If that is not where you are and you're clear on who you are, where you're going, where you've been, what you want someone else who matches that same energy. A man's purpose directs every facet of his life, from his career to his finances, his social circle, his relationship decisions, all the things. And again, if you fall in love with a man prematurely without knowing this information, you put yourself at risk for getting invested with someone who is potentially the wrong one, who is going in a different direction than where you are going in life. You can love someone deeply, but let me be honest with you, love alone is not going to align your paths. You can't force something to happen that is not organically meant to happen. It's only a matter of time, is basically what I will say. You know, you can really dig a person's energy and really like what they're doing in the world, but if that's taking them across the globe to Timbuktu and you're firmly rooted and planted and you feel pulled and called to what you're doing right where you are, that's a misalignment. That's a perfect example of how something like this can show up. And so it's lovingly saying, I respect and value and appreciate who you are and what you contribute to the world. And here's the freedom to go and do that with love and grace and understanding. And if it's the complete opposite, recognizing and celebrating that, but don't try to make something that's not something. Don't try to morph and contort yourself into being something other than who you truly are and where you may truly need to be. Purpose alignment ensures that you're not just attracted, because there are plenty of people walking down the street that any one of us can point to and say, oh, he or she is attractive. But there's a difference between that and being aligned. Purpose alignment means that you move in the same divine flow and direction without constant resistance. The second reason you need to know a man's purpose before falling in love is his purpose reveals his level of maturity and self-awareness. A man connected to his purpose tends to lead with integrity. He leads with discipline. He leads with focus. He leads with clarity. He knows who he is, and he's less likely to get caught up in ego, lust, distraction, or confusion, or to put that off on you. A man who is often without purpose finds identity in other people or in things that are external to him. There isn't this internal sense of knowingness and value. So he'll look to you or someone else, maybe one of his homeboys, to give him validation or direction or inspiration all the time. He'll live in constant distraction. And when it comes to accomplishing things, he may struggle with getting something from A to Z. And when he doesn't have a mission in life, he'll ultimately be aimless or make himself your mission. And either way, it's burdensome. By the way, if what I'm saying is hitting home for you and you would like to get tailor-made coaching for your specific relationship situation, I have just launched my email coaching services. It's absolutely flexible in terms of time, only your laptop, no scheduling required, and it's direct coaching for me via email. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, drop down in the description box beneath this video, click the link and take advantage of that today. Now, back to what I was saying. The third reason why you need to know a man's purpose is that it helps you recognize whether you're stepping into a partnership or a competition. Let me explain. When your purposes complement each other, there's synergy. But when there's not, it ends up being the complete opposite. So here's a little story time. Prior to being married, I was seeing someone who would consider himself a guitar player, very amateur, if you will. He made the statement to me at one point that those who can do and those who can't teach. And so because he was never that great at playing guitar, he decided to go down the path of being a teacher. Well, I was a teacher in the public school system and knew that I was a singer-songwriter and could play and do all of these things because I had done it since I was a child. And so I left teaching and went into music full time and had a very successful, vibrant career. That was my life. And it was very interesting to see how he did not want to support what I had going on because I had reached a level that he felt like he never could. And I, in a certain sense, couldn't really support his lack of faith in me, number one, but then also his career choice because I was so jaded on my teaching experience that I had come out of that led me into music full time. So we were on completely opposite sides of the spectrum with each other. And I couldn't support the fact that he was so negative and that he was entering into a field that I just no longer resonated with. And he couldn't see the sense of stability as it pertained to me and what I was doing because he had never experienced and he didn't know what it was like to be an independent contractor or a freelancer or an entrepreneur. And so it was beyond his scope and his level of experience. And so he was limited and therefore tried to make me be limited. And we just constantly had a clash with where our purposes and our callings were pulling us till it ultimately was part of the reason that we got pulled apart. So needless to say, when your purposes and callings, when they differ, when they conflict, there will be tension, there will be friction, there will be arguments and breakdowns and misunderstandings and all the things. So you have to ask yourself these questions. Does his mission make room for yours? And vice versa? Can both of you expand without the other shrinking? And do your shared values allow you to build something together? It's not saying that you have to build a business or a practice together, but if you wanted to or you needed to, could you? Could you work symbiotically and manifest something that works well for the two of you? Because divine partnership is not about losing yourself in love. It's about walking in purposes that multiply you both. The last reason why it's important to know a man's purpose before falling in love is that it protects you from counterfeit connections. And I say this because when you prioritize purpose over pleasure, i.e. your discernment, you're less likely to get swept up by way of charm and chemistry and potential. Potential is everything he talks about but has yet to actualize. Chemistry is the compulsions you both have toward one another, and charm is the way that he convinces you. But when all of that is removed, what is the actual fabric and foundation of the relationship? That's where purpose comes in. Is he grounded and guided in his everyday life, in the things that he does? Or are things chaotic and confusing? And does that translate into your relationship with him where you don't know where the relationship is going because He doesn't know where he's going in life because his purpose hasn't been solidified. And this is unfortunately where a lot of us women can experience discovery of a counterfeit situationship. When it finally sets in that this is what is happening and you realize you've been strung along to go nowhere. Knowing a man's purpose early on allows you to see if this man is solid, if he's rooted in truth, or if he's rooted in ego, if he's rooted in something that is steady and stable and grounded, or if he's flighty and temporary. And it also helps you to align with divine timing because you're able to see if his priorities and purpose are solidified first, before he takes you on or before you welcome him into your life. A man may pursue you passionately, but if he is not pursuing his purpose, he will eventually lose direction and you'll eventually lose interest or drain yourself trying to help him find his way. And that's not fair to you. Now, if you haven't seen my part 1 to this video where I talk about how to discover what a man's gifts, purposes, and calling are, be sure to watch that here and make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out when the next video drops. If you're still watching this with me, I want to take the time to thank you for engaging with me, for watching this. Be sure to like this video and share it with someone if you know they need to hear this information as well. Until the next video, take care. Bye for now.